where did all this start? I'm Kenyan, by birth, by registration, by everything. And I'm trained as a teacher. That's my first degree. And teaching through high school in the 90s. I graduated in 1990. So teaching through high school in the 90s brought me face to face with challenges that quite a lot of girls were going through at school, but which for me seemed like the school was only the platform where the challenges or the problems that they faced at home in the dysfunctional families were presented, were acted out. And in 1997, I was appointed to head a high school. And I came face to face with the other side of the reality. As a high school principal, it meant that I worked much more with the parents. With the girls, yes, but with the parents more. And it's at this time that my experience with the parents and the teachers brought my life almost to a standstill in the year 2001, when one of the parents whose daughter I had sent home because they could not pay money to cater for the child in school. In Kenya, we pay money in school. And that's where Deepa and I are partners. I'll speak about that later. And this mother tells me if I send her daughter home, then the daughter would probably join her in the work that she did. And I asked her, so what do you do? And I was holding a pen like this, ready to sign that permission paper that to take the girl back home. And she said, I sell my body to keep my children in school. And I knew it was time to act. I left teaching 2001 December. I did not know where I was going or what I was going to do with myself. But I was pursuing my master's degree course in counseling psychology, long distance from the UK, University of Durham. And that gave me probably the opportunity to keep journeying in. I had that term yesterday night, journeying in, to just find out what it is that was with me about my next step. I had rendered myself jobless in a country where jobs are not readily available. My husband did not understand it. My parents did not. Me too, I did not understand it. But I stayed put. I was not going to teach or be a high school principal for one more day. In 2003, I gave birth to my second-born child, a boy, and I had this nanny who worked for me during the day and went back home in the evening. And because I was jobless, I would go out and look and do counseling. I remember I was studying for my master's, and I had time paying my own for my own education. And my husband said no to it. So I went to my brothers and sisters, and I talked to my lecturers, and they paid up part of it for me. But this woman who looked after my children, I would find her every afternoon, what you call taking a nap. But this time it was not a nap, it was a real sleep. And in Africa, in Kenya, you don't just sleep during the day unless you are really sick. My children would be very worried, and they normally get very worried if I sleep during the day, and especially so if I go to bed, not on the couch, but she's in trouble.
We take care of the
I would actually be very worried if I found my mother sleeping during the day. She's 79 this month. I'll be a very worried child, and I would want to know whether everything is okay with her. Maybe she's sick. And so I kept pestering this woman to tell me what the problem was. Why did she sleep during the day? And after a couple of weeks, she opened up and said, you know what? I have 9 children. 6, my children by birth. 3, I foster my brother's children because my brother and his wife died. And she decided that the children would not go to the streets. Instead, because that was the only option that time, instead, she would go to the street every night, sell her body, and keep have the children at least get some food and shelter and whatever. The 9 of them. And I knew that things were going to change for me again. I started with that one woman, counseling, listening in to her, just yeah, that's common with most of us.
Don't take her, don't worry about it.
I'm never gonna take it with me.
Of course.
But this time I did.
Everybody silence your cell phones.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so
So go back a little bit. You were counseling the lady who worked for you.
yeah, the nanny who worked with me.
Nanny.
You know, what's really surprising for me is that in normal circumstances, just the discovery that she was in prostitution
Yeah.
would have, you know, made me make the choice to just send her off.
Yeah.
I am Christian, I am Catholic, I am, you know, all those things. I come from that background where prostitution is not anything that is acceptable anywhere. But that did not happen. I have no idea how come it didn't happen. So I began, she continued to come to my house for work, and I invited her children to come stay with me during the day. Remember, they were not in school. We continued with our sessions every afternoon. Remember, I was jobless, so I had a lot of time. And had skills to try out because I was studying for my master's. And within a very short time, we had about 3 or 4 of her children go to school, during school. And what I did was to get to her, get to the filmmaker and ask them for money to buy school uniform and to buy books and to pay money for school, and the children went to school. Then what happens, this woman has a circle of friends, the same way that we are getting to know one another today, the ones who went with her to the streets. And they were like, so Margaret, how come things are changing for you? And she would say, there is this woman that I work for. And the story continued. Before I knew it, I had 16 other women. That's how the organization, Life Bloom Services International, was formed. I had 16 women. I had a house. By that time, I had separated with my husband, so I lived alone. And I did not have money to even pay for rent, so I kept going back to my brothers and sisters, but offering counseling in my house to a couple of women. Then I knew that I needed to find a place for them. They would not continue meeting in my house every other Wednesday. We went on Wednesday afternoons. And a friend of mine, she knew I did not have money even to buy her a cup of tea, and she's a teacher. This one day she invites me to a cup of tea just near outside my town. I go there.
Hello, and thank you so much for coming. I'm headed out to a meeting, but I'm Denisha Burns.
What's your name?
Denisha Burns, and I'm the Policy and Advocacy Manager, but I just want to say thank you and thank you for coming.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This lady invited me to a cup of tea, and I shared with her my predicament about having 16 women and not knowing where to take 16 women. And she told me, you know what, Catherine? On this building, there are rental rooms, commercial rooms upstairs. And that's the owner of this building. He was sitting in the same hotel. And before she could finish, I was with that guy. My purse had no money. And I went and I spoke with him, and he told me, there's one room that is number 57. I still remember. But somebody has asked for it, but they have not paid. So if you can pay, then we give you the room. Now, I did not have money.
Right.
So I went back to Grace, and I told Grace, there's a room, number 57, and it's the only one that's remaining. I have no money. And Grace went back to her purse, gave me $10. That's 1,000 shillings. I went back to David, and David secured the room for me. Life Bloom was born that way. Next question was, what do I do with the women? Okay, they're here. They're increasing by the day. By 2004 and 5, I had more than 400 women, all coming from the streets. I had also become a street girl in that I went to the bars and sat with the ones who already knew, had confidence in me, and they brought their friends on board. Then we'd sit at night. I take wine, but I don't take beer. And normally in my country we take beer much more than we take wine. And just to be in a relationship with them, I would ask the bar manager to, in a glass of beer, to put, what is that soda called? Sprite. You know
Yeah.
Sprite? I have a Sprite in a beer bottle. So I'll be sitting there sipping from my beer bottle. And the women will never know that I did not taste beer.
Right.
But they'll keep coming to where I was. So within a very short time, we had very many women. They'll come, we'd talk in the night, and then they would come to the office in the morning. Some of them would come to the office in the morning. And in that very group, there was a leadership. There's always a leadership within the group, so there was that leadership. And though the leadership was about, actually they call it disciplining the men, the clients. If the men do not pay, the clients don't pay, then their knees were not using a, what do you call it?
A cudgel of some kind of a stick.
Whatever it is, a stick that
Yeah.
has a very big head.
Camera.
If you have been in Kenya, you have probably seen that, yeah. And the men would be disciplined, their legs and their other parts would be disciplined in a way
other parts.
that you better pay up than face the wrath of women who have given you services. And you're just not paying up.
Hit you with the hammer.
Excuse me for interrupting, but I know you went into the bars, but I think you also went into the brothels as well, didn't you?
Yes, I did. That was
And
later.
meet with the women there.
Yes, we did. That is just a little later. So, you know, I encountered the police. Of course, it was very insecure, even for me. But the women knew what streets were safer and how to just duck when you come across the police at night. And somehow it didn't occur to me that what I was doing is the complete opposite of what my church, or my upbringing taught me.
No.
The women who were leaders and who would negotiate, even for the sexual activities on behalf of the others, I realized it was easy to build their skills, their leadership skills, and instill in them, because I wanted to leave prostitution, instill in them leadership that would take them to the opposite direction, towards the opposite direction. And we created what we call the peer mentor program, which included
What, peer mentor?
peer mentor, which is 5 steps. It developed from 1 step. We had HIV components.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Someone driving a silver Toyota? Silver Toyota?
So we began with counseling. That the door was open to everybody for counseling, because that's what I did.
car?
No, it isn't.
It's not a Toyota, I can check though.
It's just a Toyota. It's a Honda. Just to be sure.
Oh, she'll check.
Okay.
Because I did tell her to
Watch
park
your
on the lot.
Oh, yeah. Yes, so we'd give them counseling, offer counseling. That time I had 2 members of staff, other staff, who were not on pay. They were volunteers. Oh, where's the volunteer lady? They were both volunteers. And we had counseling, then we had leadership, which I studied at Santa Clara University in 2009 with the Women Leaders for the World program. Then we have vocational skills training. They learned how to do this stuff. Actually, your friend Margot, the president of Kenya Help, was the first to buy us a sewing machine, a peddling machine for the program. And we trained the women how to do this, how to do catering in a way that they could sell the food, how to have make hair like this, or just put up salons. And we got some funding from Global Fund for Women. That was 2009 to be able to do that. Life skills, especially about how to raise their children. You know, you've been out in the streets. Your children go to school when you're sleeping, and by evening when the children come back home, you are going to work, you know? And so you're hardly in touch or have interaction with your kids. So we train them also on life skills and reproductive health skills. That is the peer mentor model, which now has more than 1,160 leaders, peer mentors. Julia, her adopted daughter in Kenya, foster child. Your foster child, Julia, is one of the peer mentors. And majority of those women all the women who are peer mentors have left prostitution. And all the women have brought others on board. And they have supported them because they also train them on how to go and teach. And when you talk about PEP, we do that a lot. And when you talk about having testing being done away from the hospital, away from the medical facility. So the mentors are the ones who do that on our program. So again, we identify with you on that. And then we went, majority of them actually...
Come on in. I wanted you to be able to say hello.
Oh, this is wonderful.
This is Cynthia Carey-Grant, our Executive Director here at World.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
Hi.
hi.
Welcome to World.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
I'm the Associate Executive.
Oh, okay.
Be the boss.
It's, like a boss A, boss B.
They take turns bossing each other.
That's what she says. You notice I came in, I peeked in, and she said, come in. So that gives you a clue, Mr. Boss.
Yeah,
But
right.
anyway, it's wonderful. Thank you for coming.
Anytime.
Thank you for
Yes.
having us.
Okay, enjoy. I
Bye-bye.
have to run to a meeting and do what executive directors do.
Just 5 minutes. What was I going that majority of them, actually all of them are out of sex work. And the people that they have brought on board who have received, benefited from Life Room are more than 10,000 over the 15 years.
Marvelous work.
15 years, you said?
Oh, 15 years, yeah.
15 years, 2004 and 3.
And Naivasha is a city of what population? Like, this is not a big city.
It's not a big city. 2009 we were at 229,000.
229,000?
Yeah.
So.
But because of the flowers, we grow flowers. We have beautiful lake and beautiful sceneries. It's in the heart of the Rift Valley. Naivasha attracts a lot of people from out there, tourists. So we also have a lot of sex tourism happening and child tourism happening.
How many women you said have stopped prostitution since 15 years, you said?
The ones in our records, and there could be more, are 1,662.
No, 10.
1062.
10,000, okay.
No, 10,000 are the beneficiaries who have come through our program. It could be just for a training this time, but it's still struggling with, is that what I want to do with myself? And others are survivors of violence who are not necessarily in sex work, in prostitution. Because our adults are open to not just to those in prostitution, but also to the women in prison. We work a lot there. She has been there. We started the first vocational school in Naivasha Women Prison. Wow. A couple of years back, and now it's really picked up, and women are trained and they go back home with skills to do something different than what they had done earlier on. We work with young girls, and on this program where we have the young girls, because their mothers are really not very skilled, quote unquote, to raise them in ways that are acceptable for them, or even for the children. We have the foster mother model. And we have 9 mothers, women, who have come forward and said, we would like to participate on this program. We see the kind of transformation happening, shifts that are happening, we'd like to participate. And how do they participate? They co-parent children alongside the biological parents of these mothers who have either been in prostitution and are struggling to raise their children, and of course they'd like to be supported. And we have 21 children who have been raised by the 9 mothers, alongside their biological parents or guardians. All the 21 are children who have not been in school. And they are children who have been violated, maybe through domestic servitude or sexual exploitation, name it. But they are not in school. But as we speak, from December last year, when we began that component of the project, where we are raising villages, bringing people together to work together to raise the children. We have 3 out of the 21 have gone back to school. Not gone back to school, they were never in school in the first place, so they have joined school. They joined school in January. And this has come from the foster mothers penetrating into the families and asking or finding out what their needs are, and then we do our little fundraising amongst ourselves, $10 there, $1 there, $50 there, and the children are now back in school. We have 6 others waiting to be taken back to be placed in schools. As of last week, I got a list of those others there. But it's an amazing thing, more or less like the SOS Children Village staff, only that we are not we're not asking the children to leave their parents. They are still living with their parents, and the core parent, who is the foster mother, steps in and knows when to step out. She has the work to counsel, to work on issues of sanitary napkins, which are a real challenge. Some of the girls have had to sell their bodies to sleep with men to be able to afford sanitary towels.
That should be free.
Oh yes, there should be. When I use some of the bathrooms here and I find the sanitary towels there, sometimes I feel like I want to pick all of them and go back. Because they're quite expensive back home. And it's a big challenge. When a girl tells you she's just 13, 14, 15, that every month she has to sleep with this man who happens to be a motorcyclist, in their business. Sleep with this man so that at the end of every month she gets 50 shillings, half a dollar, to buy 1 packet of the sanitary napkins. Then we know we have a problem here, and a problem that needs to be addressed. So basically that's where we are. That is what life remains.
I just want to kind of highlight something that you said that has really touched me a lot, which is this foster mother program. It feels like what you're doing is recreating the village, the kind of idea that when things aren't working well at home, the child can run down to the auntie, or the grandma. But in our country, that village is largely broken down. And in Kenya also, just because of some of the poverty and the challenges of these women, that resource net isn't there. And I feel like you're recreating a very old structure for families. And I love that the child isn't taken from the mother, but just that another resource comes in who's not as stressed as the mother, has got 1 leg or 2 up high, more than the mom has, who can just be that person to hold both of them. And I just think that's such a beautiful model. I was saying to Catherine when we were driving over here that in America, I've worked with feminism in this country for a long time, and then got to see women all over Asia and Africa doing incredible things. And it struck me that what we have, that we're very lucky to have, is a lot of a certain kind of resource, material resource in the way of money, access to money, but also governmental structures that, no matter how flawed, still are there. If you need welfare, there is an office to go to. If you need food stamps, there is a food stamp system. And that's great. But it's also professionalizes things that can be done in a very relationship way but aren't so much here. And what Catherine's model is, because she's in a country that doesn't have those kind of resources nearly as much, they don't have a strong philanthropic base, they don't have a government supporting, you might want to say more about the government, they don't have state agencies at the level we do. And that seems like a deficit, and like, oh, too bad, isn't that awful, I wish that we could help them have more of what we have, but I don't feel that way. I mean, I do, but I also don't, because you can't rely so much on the professional, corporate, bureaucratic structure, you've drawn on your own community. The women themselves become the resource for the relationship and the love and the teaching. And there's something really beautiful about that and really right to me about that because it draws on the strengths of the women. Whereas the social system as we have it has a certain way of not pulling strengths forward. It's more like you're the client class, you need the professional class, we're up here, you're kind of down there. And whether you think that way or not, it's just the way it's baked into the structure. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that because it's one of the most moving things to me about what you do. So back to you, my dear.
Thank you.
A question. So there aren't laws in your area where you live in Kenya about having to have children in school? Or do the people just ignore the laws on that? Do they just not
The laws
abide
are
by
there.
it?
The laws are there. But the implementation of the same laws and the practicability.
Right.
How do I send my child to school if I can't even afford food?
Right.
And they have to pay, even the public schools have to pay.
Some little money today the government is subsidizing But even the little that is asked for, it's still a challenge. We placed 2 girls in school from our program, 10 and 12 years old. And we had to raise amongst ourselves in the office as members of staff. We had to raise $260, which is a lot of money for us. That is a person's pay for, as one of the staff members pay for the whole month.
Now, is that for the year? How long does that
Last.
How much, does that pay for?
Yeah, that was for the year.
For the year?
Yeah, and more so because they were entering school for the first time, so they need a school uniform, which they don't necessarily need next year. So
Right.
next year it's gonna be cheaper. But starting off is normally a big deal. And these 2 children are raised by their great-grandmother. The mother abandoned them and disappeared. The grandmother died, and they were brought in by the peer mentors, brought on board by the peer mentors. Because at one point, when the mother was in prostitution around Naivasha, she brought clients home, and because she was drunk most of the time, the clients had sex with the children.
Oh,
The 10 and the 12 years old. That's a story I don't like to really get involved in, because it really breaks my heart. But to see the kids in school, I have the 4 pictures here, to see the 2 children in school, and their great-grandmother, who is 96,
Wow.
working with a foster mother.
Yeah.
To get them in.
So I guess my question is, especially with all the work that you do and how you're helping people, do you see yourself being able to have a school that where they don't have to pay?
The children of the parents.
Where the schooling is free, maybe you could
Public school.
be a
So
person.
where would we get money to? I wish that was possible. Where do we get money to run the school? So what we have done from my 2009 training at Santa Clara University, Women Leaders for the World, I went back with a big vision, and the vision was to build a school for women, one-stop center we call it, where all those 5 steps of the curriculum would be inbuilt in whatever it is. And we have done that. And when you look at this, you see that we have 2 classrooms, full classrooms, and we have vocational skills like brick making, that happens there, training happening there. Betsy has been there. And we got that from donors, individual donors from Kenya and the US. So we did fundraisers there, we did fundraisers here. And that piece belongs to Life Bloom. It doesn't belong to, it's registered under Life Bloom, so that it continuously gives the women and the children and the girls a safe place where that can happen. Meanwhile,
And that includes the braiding that you talked about, them learning how to start the braid businesses and the other things is all
yes.
part of that.
it's all part of that. Yeah.
And before the One Stop, before the One Stop, as I understand it, you had this one little office. I've been to your office, it's like 2 little rooms. And then anything else, any trainings, any circles, any table banking, all went in women's houses. It was all living room stuff, which is also wonderful.
Yeah.
But to have the next step that you've got there at One Stop is so fabulous.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, they're the offspring of women that are in the program, are probably half boys and half girls, are there any special support systems for the boys, any male mentors or anything that's built into your program that you feel is important for boys to get?
One thing we do is that we don't turn anyone away. Our doors are open. We don't turn anybody away. But we don't have the male as a major program component for us. What we do is to partner with organizations, especially we have young men organizations within Naivasha that we partner with and refer the clients to. But if they need counseling, then they come back to us.
But like even the boys that need to go to school.
Yeah, we do that. Like the 2 girls I just spoke about, we discovered there was a boy younger than the 10-year-old, I think he's 8. And so when we took the 2 to school, we also took the boy along. Yeah, we got people to support that and take the boy to school. So we don't turn anybody away. That's a left way. Yeah.
If I hit the Powerball, I'm gonna make a big fat donation.
If she hits the
The Powerball.
Thank you very much.
Did you get a chance to sign in?
I signed it in.
Oh,
I
she
signed
signed
you
her
in,
in.
Anita.
That's good.
You put your name on there already.
Anita and Terry have to go because Anita has to go to work.
So sorry.
Yeah.
Anita's
Thank you so
starting
much.
her first job in America.
With health benefits.
Yes.
There you go.
She's not gonna be late on my watch.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you so much.
Nice meeting you.
Beautiful work that you do.
But from what
Thank
I'm
you for
hearing from
being here.
you, it doesn't need a Powerball.
You know,
It
I was
seems
just
like
getting
a
ready to
small-
say
A
that.
small amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes so little.
Yeah.
That's why I asked how far the $260
Can go.
Yes.
So maybe we should try to put together a small amount today.
Yes.
That
We
sounds
can
like
do
it
that.
would be easy to.
Even though it's not a fundraiser. Yeah, we
Well,
can do
you
that.
know, Catherine and I were talking about this mother mentor program, which is what we've been talking about, of adding another woman into the mix to just keep the whole family kind of up. And that, you know how people have sponsors where like an American or a Westerner can sponsor a child in Uganda kind of thing? Well, Life Bloom has a sponsored program, and in fact, is it okay, Mary Jane, if I mention that Mary Jane is a sponsor of one of the Life Bloom women? And I am the unofficial sponsor of Julia and baby Betsy. She named her baby after me, so of course I'm in it for life now. No getting out of this one. And but so the idea we had for the mother mentor system, because these mothers, these extra mothers, are doing it volunteer, and they already have their own children. They all have jobs. They're high functioning women. They have marriages perhaps, and then they're just giving time to a very needy family that would probably take even more time than she has to offer if they could. So we thought it would be so wonderful to have a stipend for these mother mentors, to just give them a little breathing, and a little chance to take a day off every now and then, and get their nails done or something, So we were talking about that might be a really nice model for Western women who want to make a tangible difference in Life Bloom in this very tangible way by just sponsoring one grandmother. I guess I'm calling them grandmother support or something. Anyway, so that's another way. And you said like $40 a month or something. Was
40 a month for each one of them.
Yeah.
Actually, that will take care of their transport as well, because when they travel to the home where these children are found, they use their own money. And I didn't think we were going to get that into that kind of costs when we started. And they signed up and they said we want to do this at least for the first 2 years. I want to give my skills and my expertise and my support and my love and whatever to these kids. So that $40 will take care of all that. And I want to say this also. Deepa, she's a grandmother to the children that I have.
Oh, you mean in your family?
Deepa.
Yes,
Yes,
of
in
your
my family,
foster-
my 2 sons,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ones that we were talking about when they came this week. And I have 3 children, 2 by birth, and 1 that I adopted from a children's home still in my community in Naivasha. Then last year, something happened and the children's home was closed down. And there were these 2 boys that Deepa supports through Kenya Health, who were orphans, of course, and who have no known family. So Margot, who is from Menlo Park and who is my main host here, happened to be in Kenya, and she told the priest in charge of the church that, you know what, don't close the home yet. I'll be there for 2 months. She comes to Kenya every June and comes back here in August, every summer, for the last 10 years. And she said, don't close that place yet. I'll come there, and when the children close school in August, I should be there to take care of, to matron the kids. And that was fine. What they did not look at was that there was going to be 1 week between Margot coming back to the US and the children going back to school. So there was going to be a gap. So where do these 2 boys, Lucas and Joseph, go?
To your house.
They came to my house. They came to my house. And they came to my house for 1 week. And I had no problem with that. But they never went away. And they began to call me mom. And they were like, when we close school next holiday, mom would like to do 1, 2, 3, 4 things. And I graduated from a mother of 3 to a mother of 5.
Yeah.
I have a daughter who is 21 years. Then moving from down up, I have Joseph, who is, the grandmother is there. He's 13. I have Michael, who I adopted earlier on. I have Rui, who is my birth child. I have Lucas, who is 16, and that's a grandmother. Yeah. And I'm here, and after this, we're going to have a meeting with her to discuss about our children. So that's how it goes. I am ready, but I'm still having that conflict because if I bought 4 eggs for the family, we were 4 before. Even because I later divorced my husband, we divorced. If I was buying 4 eggs, it means now I buy 6 because I have 2 more mouths to feed. If I was getting 2 packets of milk, then it means I get 3. And that kind of has disoriented me.
Right.
Very, very much.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that I'm saying with the foster mothers. I'm a foster mother to the 2 boys, and I can really identify with the 9 mothers when they have to think and love, and my boys are crossing school, and then I do next week. I should be back home. Then I have nothing else that I do apart from listening to mom, 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 until the September, May, when they go back to school. Yes.
And another probably typical question, but do they have foster programs and stuff like that for foster parenting?
They have what?
Okay, so what I know of in this country, when people want to take care of a child and they don't have a child of their own, they often will sign up for something with the government, I think,
Yes.
that's called foster parenting.
Yes.
So do they have a program like that set up in your
Yes,
area?
in
No,
our
they don't
country,
have.
yes. No, in our country,
They do.
we have.
You have?
The thing is, there are too many children to be fostered or adopted.
Pick them up off the street.
Yeah, there's just
Right.
too many. And
Okay.
like these others who have biological parents,
Yes.
but parents who have been in sex work or doing
Right,
other
so they
stuff.
still need fostering, basically.
Oh yeah, and there's no law that says that you can give your children to the other person.
Right, and so what you're saying is that there's government supplement for the foster?
No.
No,
It's not.
It's only a law, a policy, a law that says if you're gonna foster Lucas and Joseph, then got to have this kind of papers.
Issue.
The court declares that you are the foster mother. They are under your care, and the government ends the story there.
So all they want is documentation. and
All
they
the
want-
want is documentation.
I have a question, because I'm really feeling your work. I've always wanted, because I'm an ex-prostitute, and I've always wanted to, when I went to college, my whole dream was to help women. And to sit here listening to you is just like really giving me the chills. I don't really have money, but I have a lot of clothes and jewelry and purses. Is there a way to donate to the ladies who are doing good? I don't know the process of, because I give away a lot of stuff. And I have a lot of nice little cute little stuff that I would love to give the girls who are doing good in Kenya, to let them have it.
That's really good.
I don't have money, but I
You know
can
what it
donate
is?
items.
Yeah, it costs a fortune to ship.
It does.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
people like I'm sending Catherine home with some clothes and gifts for Julie and Betsy, my little family, but she can't carry, like, you know what I mean, she can't.
Oh.
So it's something to think
I have an
about.
idea for you. What if you had a sale and all the proceeds?
Oh,
went to-
yeah, sell it and
do
give the
that.
proceeds.
Oh, that's different, but that's just so much work.
Yeah, it is, it is. That's right.
You got 10 people here who work with
Maybe as
you.
much
I
as
work
something.
with you.
Okay, can you help? How about a musical moment?
Okay.
Musical moment.
Catherine, I have a question.
Okay.
Where do you get the energy to do all this?
Oh, Lord, good question.
Yes.
I don't know, Betsy, but answer that question for me because I don't know. I have no idea. But what I know is that we're talking about it today with Betsy. That if I have a very good support system here, that's for sure. I have Betsy, I have Margot, I have others in Northwest Seattle, 2 of them, 3 of them. And if somebody took care of the bit of finances, I think my heart would go on forever. Expiring forever.
The work isn't draining, it's the money raising.
It's the money raising
that's
that
draining.
drains.
Yeah, right. You know, we had a fundraiser with, and by the way, the name of the organization, to make it very clear, is Kenya Health. And that's the nonprofit that umbrellas Catherine, so donations are tax deductible. So we had a fundraiser down there, and I have a woman friend who is able to be very generous at times, And I just called her and said, what if we do a match? What if you say, I will match any donation at this event up to a certain amount, and that will generate more enthusiasm for giving. Well, I thought she might put up 1,000. She put up 5,000. And I thought, maybe we can match, let's try, you know, and we presented and I sang the song I'm about to sing to you, and so forth, and we raised 8,000.
Oh, wow.
So we raised over 1/3 of your annual staff budget. So I think matches are a great thing. And we tend to try to put a song into our time here, partly just to refresh your right brain, you know, and kind of let your brain relax a little. But also just because, as we know, sometimes the heart of the story comes out well in a song. So let me just wait for Mo to make her transition here. Thanks so much for coming, Mo. May I suggest that your next film be about Catherine?
Oh, I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
Always thinking.
It needs to be always
Thanks,
thinking.
Mo.
I know.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So I spent 2 weeks with Life Bloom, and we sang just about every day in different settings. And I'd have the wonderful feminist songs that are very inclusive, everybody sings along. I got some of them translated into Kiswahili. We found ways to connect, and it was wonderful. But I felt after about 4, 5, 6 days, maybe even a week, I was disturbed in my heart because I was feeling some little lack of connection that I wasn't sure what was creating it. There was tons of warmth, hugs, calling me sister. They loved me, I loved them, but there was something missing, I felt. And in the middle of the night, that's when I do my best thinking, I realized that there was all my trip to these countries, a lot of my work that I learned on the ground was, how do I level the playing field? Because I've got the privilege, I've got the skin color, I've got the America, I've got the elder, and no matter how much I'm a fun, lively, humble person, blah, blah, there's a certain book that I bring and a certain story that gets attached to that book. And how can I break that down? And I'd figured out a lot of ways, but I felt like I hadn't done it yet at Life Bloom. And I thought, here's the thing. I know their story. I know these women have been degraded, they've been shamed, they do not have a lot of self-esteem, they're developing, whatever. They don't know anything really about me. I just look good. I look good, And I thought, they don't know. They don't know my story. And I said, Betsy, you've got to tell them your story. This project is about storytelling. It's about sharing the truth of yourself and being heard by people who understand. So the next time we sat down together, I said essentially that. I said, I just feel like I want to be closer to you, and I realized you don't know me in a certain way. So I told them that I had been an unwed mother when I was 18, and they know all about that, I told them that baby had died after birth, and they really know about that. These women know death, And that I had a drug-addicted sister who died, and they know all about that, and that I had my own addiction history. And and I'd had a breakdown. I had a psychological breakdown in high school. So I'm not the winner that I looked like. And for me, it made all the difference. I don't know if it made a difference to them, but it made a huge difference to me. I felt like I was now in the circle instead of leading the circle. So somehow out of all that, leading, kind of being the honored guest. I was really a sister then. So I wrote this song, the first verse, maybe while I was there, and it was really about, it was as if a Life Bloom woman was singing to another Life Bloom woman. And then I came home and thought, yeah, but that's not enough. You're not in the song, Betsy. So you need to put yourself in the song. So now it's got 3 verses. So, and there's a part for you as well. Sister, I need you by my side. I need your shoulder when I cry. I need your laughter and your song. Sister, you help me to be strong. And I am here for you. Yes, I am. I'll help you make it through. The best I can. We'll make a safe place for 2 or 3. troubles too. I get weary and I stumble just like you. I've lost my way and I've lost my pride. So sister, I need you by my side. Will you be here for me too? Yes, I will. Will you help me make it through? Yes, I will. I'll make a space, say space for two or three or more. That's what sisters are for. That's what sisters are for.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, baby!
I'm just so happy to see somebody else like it.
That was beautiful. That was really, really beautiful.
You need to make a record
You need to get
and make money.
some drums and some